Hi, welcome to another episode of the True Crime Chronicles. Today, we delve into a case that shook the world and left a community in mourning. On the serene morning of June 6, 2013, the small town of Stellenbosch in South Africa was rocked by an unimaginable tragedy. The town, known for its picturesque landscapes and close-knit community, was about to face a harrowing crime that would shatter its peaceful facade. This is the story of Amy Daniels, a bright 17-year-old high school senior whose life was cut short in the most brutal way. Amy Daniels was the epitome of promise and potential. At just 17 years old, she was a senior at Stellenbosch High School, renowned for her intelligence, beauty, and unwavering ambition. Amy's dream was to study business at the prestigious University of Cape Town, a goal she pursued with relentless determination. Her resilience was particularly impressive given the personal hardships she had endured. At the tender age of 13, Amy lost her mother to cancer, a devastating blow that left her and her father grappling with grief. Her father, Michael Daniels, a respected police officer in Stellenbosch, was now tasked with raising Amy alone while managing the demands of his job. Michael Daniels, 46, was known for his dedication to his work and the community. As a police officer, he was committed to upholding the law and ensuring the safety of Stellenbosch's residents. However, the long hours he worked to provide for Amy created a chasm between them. Michael's job, while noble, often kept him away from home, leaving Amy to navigate the challenges of adolescence with minimal parental guidance. The Daniels household was quiet that morning, but the tranquility was shattered when Michael returned home from a night shift. As he stepped through the door, he was met with an overwhelming sense of dread. The reality of the situation unfolded as Michael discovered his daughter's lifeless body in her bedroom. Amy had been brutally murdered. Her body was found bludgeoned with a rock and strangled with a belt. The scene was as horrific as it was incomprehensible, leaving the close-knit town of Stellenbosch in utter shock. News of Amy's murder spread quickly through the community, sparking outrage and disbelief. The peaceful town had never before witnessed such a violent crime, and the residents were left grappling with the unsettling reality that someone among them was capable of such brutality. Detective Grace Mpofu, a seasoned investigator known for her meticulous approach and dedication, was assigned to lead the investigation. Detective Mpofu's task was monumental. The first step in her investigation was to understand the dynamics of Amy's life and the people who surrounded her. The focus quickly turned to two individuals with notable connections to Amy, Victor Muller and Peter Muller. Victor Muller, a 68-year-old retired car dealer, was a prominent figure in Stellenbosch. Known for his flashy personality and wealth, Victor had a well-documented romantic relationship with Amy. This relationship, marked by a significant age difference, had raised eyebrows in the community. Despite their unconventional pairing, Victor and Amy's connection was known to many. Victor's rivalry with his twin brother, Peter Muller, added another layer of complexity to the situation. The tension between the two brothers was a well-known facet of Stellenbosch's social scene. Peter Muller, also 68, was Victor's twin and had lived a contrasting life. A retired history teacher, Peter was known for his reserved and scholarly demeanor. Unlike his brother, Peter led a quiet life, immersing himself in reading and participating in local community events. His relationship with Amy, while also close, was publicly regarded as purely platonic. Despite the nature of their connection, Peter became a person of interest due to the proximity of his relationship with Amy. The investigation began with a thorough questioning of both Victor and Peter Muller. Victor's alibi for the night of Amy's murder was weak, raising suspicions about his whereabouts. His financial support for Amy, coupled with their romantic involvement, cast doubts on the nature of their relationship and whether it could have been a motive for the crime. Peter, on the other hand, maintained a calm demeanor throughout his questioning. His alibi, though not as shaky as Victor's, was scrutinized due to the potential emotional motives that could have arisen from his closeness with Amy. As Detective Mpofu delved deeper into the case, she faced the daunting task of piecing together the evidence and motives behind this heinous crime. The investigation was far from straightforward, with the community's trust in their local authorities hanging in the balance. The brutal murder of Amy Daniels had not only left a family shattered but also exposed the darker undercurrents of a town that had always been perceived as idyllic and safe. The search for answers was just beginning, and the case of Amy Daniels would soon reveal the complexities of human relationships, hidden motives, and the tragic consequences of betrayal. As Detective Grace Mpofu continued her investigation into the brutal murder of Amy Daniels, the small town of Stellenbosch remained on edge. The shock and grief that had gripped the community following Amy's death were compounded by the mysteries surrounding her murder. With the initial focus on Victor Muller and Peter Muller, the investigation took on a new dimension as Detective Mpofu sought to unravel the complex web of relationships and motives. Victor Muller, a retired car dealer known for his opulent lifestyle, had quickly become the prime suspect. His relationship with Amy, marked by a significant age gap, had already drawn scrutiny from the start. The community was abuzz with whispers about their romantic involvement, and Victor's alibi for the night of Amy's murder was shaky at best. He claimed to have been at home alone, but his statements lacked corroboration, raising doubts about his truthfulness. Adding to the intrigue was Victor's financial support for Amy. The substantial amounts of money he had provided her with over time made many question whether there was a financial motive behind their relationship. Was it possible that Amy had manipulated Victor for financial gain, leading to a confrontation that turned violent? The notion of financial manipulation was not far-fetched, considering the power dynamics at play. On the other hand, Peter Muller, Victor's twin brother, presented a stark contrast. Known for his quiet and intellectual nature, Peter was a retired history teacher who lived a solitary life. His relationship with Amy was purportedly platonic, yet his proximity to her and the familial rivalry with Victor made him a person of interest in the investigation. While Peter's alibi was more solid compared to Victor's, Detective Mpofu remained cautious. Emotional motives and hidden resentments could not be discounted, particularly given the complex family dynamics. The investigation took a significant turn on June 11, 2013, when a local hiker made a crucial discovery. While walking near the Erst River, the hiker stumbled upon a small black bag partially buried in the dirt. Inside the bag were a blood-stained shirt and a pair of gloves. The items were immediately turned over to the police, and forensic analysis revealed that the blood on the shirt and gloves matched Amy Daniels' DNA. This breakthrough provided a critical piece of evidence in the case. The gloves, in particular, proved to be a key element in the investigation. Fingerprint analysis linked the gloves directly to Victor Muller. This discovery was explosive, as it contradicted Victor's previous claims of innocence and suggested that he had been in direct contact with the crime scene. The presence of the blood-stained shirt and gloves near the Erst River provided a clear connection to Victor, raising serious questions about his involvement in Amy's murder. With this new evidence in hand, Detective Mpofu re-examined Victor's alibi and scrutinized his movements more closely. The inconsistencies in Victor's statements, combined with the forensic evidence, strengthened the case against him. Despite his attempts to deflect suspicion and maintain his innocence, the evidence painted a damning picture. Peter Muller, while not directly linked to the physical evidence, remained under investigation. His close relationship with Amy and his rivalry with Victor were factors that kept him in the spotlight. Detective Mpofu interviewed Peter again, delving deeper into his interactions with Amy and his whereabouts during the night of the murder. Although Peter's alibi remained intact, the emotional and psychological aspects of the case were explored thoroughly. As the investigation progressed, the community of Stellenbosch grappled with the unsettling reality of the case. The once peaceful town was now enveloped in a cloud of suspicion and distrust. The murder of Amy Daniels had exposed hidden tensions and rivalries, forcing the residents to confront uncomfortable truths about their neighbors and themselves. With the critical evidence pointing towards Victor Muller, Detective Mpofu's focus remained on building a comprehensive case against him. The forensic findings, combined with Victor's inconsistent statements and questionable financial motives, provided a strong foundation for the prosecution. Yet, the complexity of the case required careful and methodical work to ensure that justice was served. The discovery of the blood-stained shirt and gloves marked a pivotal moment in the investigation. It underscored the severity of the crime and the need for a thorough examination of all possible leads and motives. As the investigation neared a climax, the community awaited answers, hoping for resolution and justice for Amy Daniels. As the investigation into Amy Daniels' murder progressed, the focus intensified on Victor Muller. The forensic evidence linking him to the crime scene was irrefutable, and Detective Grace Mpofu worked tirelessly to build a robust case against him. With the community of Stellenbosch anxiously awaiting justice, the case began to draw widespread attention. By June 13, 2013, the situation had reached a critical juncture. Victor Muller was formally arrested for the murder of Amy Daniels. His arrest marked a significant moment in the case, but it also set the stage for a complex legal battle that would captivate the town. As Victor was taken into custody, the townspeople's reaction was one of mixed emotions: shock, relief, and a deep sense of betrayal. The man they had once known for his flamboyant personality and wealth was now accused of a heinous crime. Victor's trial began on July 18, 2013, and it was clear from the outset that it would be a high-profile event. The courtroom was packed with local residents, media representatives, and family members of both Amy and Victor. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation as the trial promised to unravel the full extent of the tragedy that had rocked their community. Prosecutors presented a compelling case against Victor, drawing upon the critical evidence discovered by Detective Mpofu. The blood-stained shirt and gloves found near the Erst River were central to the prosecution's argument. Forensic experts testified that the blood on these items matched Amy's DNA, while Victor's fingerprints on the gloves provided a direct link to the crime scene. The prosecution argued that these pieces of evidence demonstrated Victor's involvement in the murder, suggesting that he had been present at the scene and had likely played a significant role in the crime. Victor's defense team, led by a seasoned attorney, mounted a vigorous challenge. They argued that the evidence was circumstantial and that there was a possibility of contamination or misinterpretation. The defense team sought to cast doubt on the reliability of the forensic evidence, suggesting that Victor's fingerprints could have been on the gloves for reasons other than his involvement in the murder. They also questioned the integrity of the investigation, hinting at potential biases and errors. Throughout the trial, the focus was not only on the evidence but also on the relationships and motivations of those involved. The prosecution highlighted Victor's romantic relationship with Amy and his financial support, suggesting that these factors could have created a volatile situation. They argued that the power dynamics in their relationship, coupled with Victor's rivalry with his twin brother Peter, provided a motive for a tragic confrontation. Peter Muller, although not directly linked to the crime, was a key figure in the trial. His involvement in the case continued to draw attention, and his testimony was scrutinized by both sides. Peter maintained his innocence and reiterated that his relationship with Amy was purely platonic. He expressed deep sorrow over Amy's death and denied any involvement in the murder. Despite his strong alibi, the defense used Peter's close proximity to Amy and his strained relationship with Victor as part of their strategy to sow doubt. As the trial progressed, the emotional impact of the case became evident. Amy's family and friends attended each session, their grief and pain palpable. The courtroom saw poignant moments as they recounted their memories of Amy and the devastating loss they had suffered. The impact of Amy's death on her loved ones was a powerful reminder of the human cost of the crime and underscored the need for justice. The trial concluded with closing arguments from both sides. The prosecution emphasized the strength of their case, arguing that the evidence against Victor was overwhelming. They urged the jury to consider the gravity of the crime and the need for accountability. The defense, on the other hand, maintained that reasonable doubt remained and that the evidence was insufficient to convict Victor beyond a reasonable doubt. On August 15, 2013, the jury delivered their verdict. Victor Muller was found guilty of first-degree murder. The verdict was met with a mixture of relief and sadness. While the conviction brought a sense of closure, it also highlighted the profound tragedy that had unfolded in Stellenbosch. The sentencing phase followed, during which the court heard testimonies about the impact of Amy's death on her family and the community. Victor Muller was ultimately sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The sentence reflected the severity of the crime and the need for justice for Amy Daniels. In the aftermath of the trial, Stellenbosch began the difficult process of healing. The town, forever changed by the tragedy, faced the challenge of coming to terms with the betrayal and loss that had shattered their sense of security. Amy's family and friends continued to honor her memory, finding solace in their shared grief and the support of their community. Detective Grace Mpofu's relentless pursuit of justice was widely praised, and her work on the case left a lasting impact on Stellenbosch. The investigation had uncovered hidden truths and revealed the darker aspects of relationships within the community. The case served as a stark reminder of the complexities of human nature and the need for vigilance in seeking the truth. As the community of Stellenbosch slowly began to heal, the memory of Amy Daniels remained a poignant reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of justice. The case had brought the town together in its quest for answers, and the resolution of the trial marked a step towards reconciliation and understanding in the wake of tragedy. In the wake of Victor Muller's conviction, Stellenbosch began to grapple with the profound impact of Amy Daniels' murder. The small South African town, once known for its serenity, was now marked by a tragic event that had rippled through every corner of the community. With Victor sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, the focus shifted to healing and understanding the broader implications of the case. Amy's family, particularly her father Michael Daniels, faced the challenging task of finding solace after such a devastating loss. Michael, who had dedicated his life to providing for Amy after his wife's death, was left with the immense grief of losing his only child. The trial had been an ordeal, but it also provided a sense of closure. Michael expressed gratitude for the dedication of Detective Grace Mpofu and the legal system, even as he continued to mourn the loss of his daughter. His focus now turned to preserving Amy's memory and finding ways to support others dealing with similar tragedies. Community support played a crucial role in the aftermath of the trial. Local organizations and residents rallied to honor Amy's life and offer support to her family. Memorials were held, and a scholarship fund was established in Amy's name to help other young students achieve their educational dreams. These efforts aimed to ensure that Amy's legacy lived on, providing hope and inspiration for future generations. The trial had revealed the darker undercurrents of Stellenbosch, showcasing how personal relationships and rivalries can intersect with devastating consequences. Victor Muller's actions exposed the hidden tensions within the community, particularly the intense rivalry between him and his twin brother Peter. The complexity of these relationships highlighted the challenges of understanding human motives and the impact of personal loss on behavior. Peter Muller, despite his exoneration, faced his own struggles. The trial had thrust him into the spotlight, and the public scrutiny surrounding his relationship with Amy added to his emotional burden. Peter continued to lead a quiet life, dedicating himself to community service and honoring Amy's memory in his own way. His experience served as a reminder of the collateral damage that can occur in the wake of a high-profile crime. Detective Grace Mpofu, the investigator who had led the case, received widespread acclaim for her meticulous work. Her commitment to uncovering the truth and seeking justice for Amy was recognized by the community and her peers. Detective Mpofu's handling of the case not only brought Victor Muller to justice but also set a standard for investigative excellence. Her work highlighted the importance of thoroughness and dedication in solving complex cases. As time passed, Stellenbosch began to heal from the trauma of Amy's murder. The community, while forever changed by the event, worked to rebuild their sense of security and trust. The process of healing was gradual, with many residents finding comfort in the support of their neighbors and the efforts to honor Amy's memory. The town's recovery was a testament to the resilience of its people and their ability to come together in the face of adversity. The case also sparked broader discussions about violence, justice, and the role of personal relationships in criminal behavior. It served as a stark reminder of the potential for hidden tensions to escalate into violence and the need for vigilance in understanding and addressing such issues. The tragic events highlighted the importance of addressing underlying problems within communities and fostering open dialogue to prevent similar occurrences. In reflecting on the story of Amy Daniels, it becomes clear that the case is not just about a single crime but about the broader implications for individuals and communities. It underscores the need for compassion, understanding, and vigilance in the pursuit of justice. The legacy of Amy Daniels and the lessons learned from the case continue to resonate, reminding us of the complexities of human behavior and the importance of addressing issues before they escalate into tragedy. The final chapter of this story is one of reflection and growth. Stellenbosch, though scarred by the events, has emerged stronger and more aware of the need for community support and understanding. Amy's memory lives on through the efforts to honor her and the lessons learned from the case. The town's journey towards healing is ongoing, but the impact of Amy's story serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of justice, empathy, and resilience in the face of tragedy.